Hello, welcome to Boldly Become You, our 5-day workshop, which is all about self-belief and creating a beautiful future for you. Jumping on, my name is Vicky Lord, I'm a freedom coach. I help women to have confidence in everyday life so that you can live relaxed and stress-free. So today's day one out of this 5-day workshop, and you can get your workbook below if you want to follow along with the workbook. And today we're doing day one, and tomorrow we'll be doing day two. So, jumping in to day one, for those who are on day one in your workbook, we are working through the three beliefs or the three biggest misconceptions that stop people from living a life fulfilled. And it's really important that we work on ourselves, because what's going to happen is we're going to sometimes have big dreams in life. And if we don't have the self-belief or the confidence to get the big dreams, then we're not going to get that. So what we want to do is we want to get really clear about our beliefs, where we are now and where we're going, so that we can have the confidence to live that life and do that, become the one that our results require. Because to go and do something, we're going to have to do something phenomenal. And often it's a simple thing that's holding us back. So today we're talking about three beliefs, or the three biggest things that hold us back. And the first one is the fear of failure or the fear of rejection. And, this is a really common one, and a lot of people deny it. I know I denied it in myself for a long time too. And what's really important is that when we become honest with ourselves is when we can create the change. Because if we don't become very clear on where we are, we're going to stay exactly where we are day after day after day. The same repetitive thought is going to be there again and again. So working on the first mistake that people make in going for the big dreams is not getting clear on the actual fear of failure or the fear of rejection. So in your workbook, I've got a prompt here that you can go through to make a list of your biggest fears surrounding failure. So if you fear failure, what's the number one thing that will happen if we do fail? And often it's not that we write it down. If I do fail, I'm going to have to get a job, or if I do fail, I'm going to have to humble myself and say, you know what, it didn't work out. So what's the biggest fear if you do fail? And what's the worst case scenario? If you do get rejected, if someone says no to you, what's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to feel hurt in your heart. So what is the worst thing? And then think of a time when you did fail, and what was the actual result of that? And was it worth the way up in the fear? So, or did you learn something amazing out of it? Because most of the time when we do fail, there is a huge learning in it, and we know that we'll never do it that way again, and that learning will us for the rest of our life. So how amazing is that? And then what lessons did you get out of it? And write that down in your work. What lessons that you got? And the key that we're going to do here is, let's become aware of fear of failure or fear of rejection. We're going to write a new success statement for ourselves. And so when you're writing a mantra or a success statement, it starts with gratitude, because gratitude puts us into the higher realm where all things are possible. And so it starts with, I'm so happy and grateful. I have the courage to live everyday life and embrace failure as a stepping stone. So what's a new saying that you can say to yourself instead of feeling the fear and staying stuck in that? So there's a little quote I have here: that fear is just a tricky habit of the mind. So often it's a mind habit that's playing, not reality itself. Okay, and now mistake number 2 that often holds us back from achieving what our goal is caring too much about others' opinions. And as much as I'm a life coach helping everybody else as well, often I have to pull myself back and go through what I'm helping you go through now as well. So caring too much about what others people's opinions or what they think, often that can hold you back because you give so much thought energy to that, when we have all this energy that we can be putting into good. So if you look at it, whose opinions do you have in higher regard than your very own? And often this will sabotage you into becoming a people pleaser, or to not respecting yourself in the way that you really would want to. And so that brings us back to not living to our fullest potential as well, not speaking our truth. So write down some of the impressions that you get of people who you're spending your mind energy on, giving that so much power and attention. And then we want to think about a time when you really honored yourself and did what you knew what was in your heart to do, and how great did that feel? And I bet when you did that, everyone else around you felt fantastic about that too. They could feel your own energy. So when you're working on yourself and you're going on that big brave step of trusting yourself and you feel amazing, that's like a victory right there, and you should celebrate that for yourself. It's incredible. So really become clear on how it makes you feel when you spend time working on you and taking that time to honor your highest good. So spending energy trying to please everyone's imagined judgments, it's imagined in your mind. We don't actually know what other people are thinking. So that's why it's imagined, and we get to create from our thoughts, will only distract you from your own truth. So we can create this beautiful life through awareness and gratitude. So the last one I want to talk to you about is the lack of self-belief and negative self-talk. So self-belief in itself is confidence. So confidence is a pretty popular word, and at its core is self-belief. And so this actual task, if you're following along in the workbook, is really important. So if you make a list of all the unkind words you're saying to yourself and you write it down, catch them throughout the day, because they're so subtle that you probably don't even realize it. The little voices that are holding back your big self-belief. Because we've all got self-belief, and sometimes we've got little self-belief and big self-belief. And what we want to do is create big self-belief. And we do this through cancelling out the habit of the negative self-talk. And one of the ways that we can do this is to catch it and write it down. And then when we've caught it, we look at it and get really clear and ask yourself, how does it feel speaking to myself that way? And if it's not loving, scribble it out and make a pact with yourself not to say that again, because you're worthy of all of your hopes and dreams. And so you want to get clear on the habit of your thought pattern. And next time you catch yourself, you won't have to start scribbling it out so much, because you would have scribbled it out, and visually scribbling it out, you'll feel amazing. So then you'll create a new habit in that. And make a list also of all your qualities, all the strengths that you have, so that you don't have to live feeling like you're a negative Nancy in your head. Come back to kindness with yourself. And the key is mix of becoming aware of negative self-talk and the patterns, and interrupting them with positive replacements, so that you can strengthen your self-belief over time. And it's really incredible when you get to feel that belief within you. You know, all of life is in our mind. We get to create on a daily basis how amazing we want life to be, or we create from a place of fear. And hopefully these 3 tips today on how to shift through the fear of rejection, or the fear of other people belittling or talking about you, or the low self-belief in yourself, and you shift it, can start to make a pavement, a walking way where you can go down your own path and not have to be worried about what other people think. So your life is yours to live, and I'm super excited to see where you're going with it. So that was it for day one, becoming aware of our self-belief patterns. And tomorrow we're going to do day two, which is crafting a guiding light and leading you to your highest self. So tomorrow's a very exciting chapter. We're building up on day one. So be sure to subscribe so that you can come back and watch this and do day two tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining us, and I'll see you in the next video.